Hello everybody, my name is Nemo and welcome to the Top Tier Tactics tournament that I'm participating in. This is gonna be a round 1 and this is a Steam only tournament. It's single elimination with 7 rounds in total if I can make it that far. Because, well, I just said it's single elimination, so I could be out of it at any round. And no chance to get back in. If you lose a round, you're out. So it's first to 3 each round is, or otherwise known as a best of 5, but I like to call them first to 3 because, you know, who knows, someone could play like an earthquake and kill both players, and I don't know, would you call it the best out of 5 then? Because it's probably gonna take like 6 games then, so whatever, I'm gonna call it a first to 3. But yeah, and you gotta play the same deck for the whole tournament, but you get to choose which deck you're playing in advance. And I chose to play a fun deck. I know there's some among you who just want me to play the best deck and get as far as I can in the tournament. But I like to have fun with these as well, and not just play, you know, the best deck, but a good deck, but one that I have fun with too. So yeah, you know, I want to have fun in the tournament. I'm not in there to win it necessarily, but I'm mostly in there to have fun. But you know, I'm gonna see how far I can come, of course. And, you know, I'm also in there because I can make videos out of it, and that's awesome. So, let's take a look at what deck build I was running. My first round is going to be against a guy named Kralzen, or Kralzen. I think it's Kralzen. Yeah, I think it's Kralzen. Well, anyways, he's playing Hunter Strength. This is recorded after the matches, but of course I'm not going to give any spoilers. I changed my deck out around a little bit after the fact, so I'm not entirely sure if I replicated the deck I was running at the time 100% accurately, but I think this is about how I was running my deck at the time. I figured, you know, I should actually have a section where I show you what I'm actually running here before I get into the round. So basically this is a ramp deck, so you want to get your lands out quickly. And I guess it's interesting what I'm running, but it may be more interesting what I'm not running. Either way, my choice is to go for a lot of ramp here. I prefer Rampant Growth over Explore because this at least ensures you get a land out of the deal. Explore does get you more draws, but usually card advantage is not really what you need to be worried about with this deck. You need to be most worried about actually getting your lands out as fast as possible so that you can start dropping those bombs, because the format is pretty quick, so you have to be fast as well. So I think it's more important to guarantee that land drop than to dig deeper into your pile. Get more cards out of it. I'm running one Colony Heart Expedition. The way I see it, this card works best as a 1-off or as a 0-off. You either run one or you run none. And the reason that is because, well, if you think about it, the best time to drop this is turn 2, and then after that start ramping, and then once you're at 5 lands, you actually have 3 counters on this thing, and it needs 3 counters to be able to be sacked and get 2 more lands out of the deal. So that means if you drop this turn 2, then, you know, once you're at that level, you can go from 5 mana to 7 mana instead of having to go past the 6 mana mark. Do not go past Primeval Titan. Do not collect 1000 gold, right? I don't know why I'm playing Monopoly all of a sudden. But yeah, the difference that makes is that you can then lay like Avenger of Zendikar that turn, or a Palaka Worm if you really need the life gain and big blocker, instead of having to drop Primeval Titan first, and that may make a difference. But so that's the upside, is that you go from 5 to 7 instead of having to go to 6 first. The downside is if you lay the turn later than 2, then it's kind of useless, because, whoa, hit my mic there, because it's kind of useless at that point. So because you're gonna have to drop that Primeval Titan anyways, and then you got your lands anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much anymore after you already dropped the Primeval Titan. So it's kind of useless if you play it later than turn 2, and you may even get land screwed if you do. Like you could have like I don't know, 5 lands down and 2 counters on this thing and not be able to sack it and go up to 6 or 7. It's kind of useless after turn 2. And the other problem with it is that if you run them in multiples, you may actually draw multiples of these instead of other ramp spells, which may cause you to not actually have enough ramp to get 3 counters on one of them, and then you're stuck at mana. So I think they're better as a one-of or as a none-of for that reason. So Green Sun's an amazing card, obviously. Most of the time I find myself actually just getting one of these with it just because I'm stuck on lands or something. And it's so important to just get your lands out soon. I've Ugin. I get this with Primeval Titan, and I can get some Eldrazi with it. The Eldrazi I'm running are Artisan of Kozilek's and It That Betrays. It That Betrays mostly is in this deck because, well, you kind of need to one-up the mirror match, basically. But it certainly wasn't needed for this match, and I probably could have taken it out. Because I'm playing against Hunter Strength. I don't know. I don't really need that. And in fact, after playing the matches, I think I've come to the conclusion that the Eldrazi weren't really needed in those matches at all. So I probably could have just taken out all the Eldrazi and the Ivugin and I'd been fine. But anyways, that's all after the fact. So some ramp here, Tangle obviously really good. Well, you know, this deck kind of builds itself. Not much else to say about it. These are all kind of cards you need to run. I wanted to rest it on because I need to deal with certain enchantments or something. And Eldrazi Conscription, always nice. But yeah, I have changed this deck a bit since. And for instance, I could have added, instead of the Eldrazi, what might have been better against Hunter Strength would have been like Woodborn Behemoths. Because I could actually lay them early and maybe Skewed Mob. Alternatively, I could play some Grazing Gladearts. Normally I don't run these in my build because I just don't have room for them, and I usually find myself just wanting to ramp as fast as possible, but they may have been, you know, better than the Eldrazi because I just didn't find myself ever needing or wanting to cast the Eldrazi in the matchup. So, but either way, let's get into the games. This is basically what I was running. So all of this little part is going to be post-production commentary. I'll have played the games, and the reason I do this is because I want to be completely focused on the games in the tournament and not have to worry about commentating. So I do that after the fact, so I know what's going to happen. But of course, I don't want to spoil anything. So let's get into the games, and let's see what happens then. Alright, so we are in the first game. It's round number 1, and match number 1 against Kralzen, who is running Hunter Strength, and I'm running Chant of the Moldaya. And obviously I take this hand, wish him some good luck here. And the reason I really like this hand, I got a ramp. I'm guaranteed to get my 6 lands needed. And I also have a Tangle to slow him down if he's having a fast start. So that's basically exactly what I need. All I need now is a bomb to drop once I'm there. But I have faith in the deck delivering me such things. I actually do like these ramp heavy hands with this deck where you just get a lot of ramp in the starting hand because, you know, that's the most important thing. I usually just draw a bomb anyways. Most important thing is just being able to get there. So he's played a Nature's Lore there, getting some ramp out of his own. And I'm going to Rampant Growth, and the reason I play Rampant Growth instead of Explore here is because Rampant Growth puts the land onto the battlefield tapped, whereas Explore allows you to drop another land. So if I now draw another 2-drop, I can then play Explore, drop land, play another 2-drop. So that would be very nice. Predator Ooze is actually a little difficult for me to deal with. Because it keeps just growing, and if he has it out fast, then it can get pretty big. He has a Rancor on there. There's no fear on his side for enchanting his guys, because, you know, he just has to kill me as quickly as possible. There's not a lot of stuff in my deck that can actually, you know, there's not a lot of stuff that can, there's no targeted removal. That's what I'm trying to say. Come on, Nemo! Get out your words, son! Get out your words! I'm debating here between Farhaven Elf to get my 6th land and Fierce Empath to get Primeval Titan. I mean, if I drop the one guy, I can just hope to top deck Primeval Titan, but otherwise I still have to draw it. So I decided to drop the Fierce Empath, but not because there's a lot of land in my deck, and there's a larger chance of me drawing a land now than drawing drawing Primeval Titan if I'd dropped the guy that gets me a land. So this sets me up quite nicely for the Primeval Titan. But look at this, he has another Rancor and a Boar's Umbra, so it's a 9/5 coming at me. Pretty quick start for him here. And this is really what he wants to be doing against my deck. He wants to kill me as fast as possible because there's not a lot of chance of his deck actually beating me if the game goes long. And there I go and indeed draw a land. But now I'm thinking next turn when he attacks it's at least a 10/6 because it's going to get a +1/+1 counter on attacking. I'm a turn late on the All's Dust. If he has any buff spell I'm just simply dead. Unless I keep Tangle open and play the Farhaven Elf here to go get my All's Dust. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here actually. I think it would be better to just Farhaven Elf and Tangle. But that's apparently not what I'm doing. Oh yeah, because the line I'm thinking of is actually Green Sun Zenith next turn for Avenger of Zendikar. And just hoping that he doesn't have any buff spell. But I think that was the wrong line, to be honest. Think about it a little more. But it's good to attack with the Fierce Empath there, because if he has any buff spell, then I'm dead, whether or not I have the Fierce Empath back for blocking. That 1 toughness isn't going to make a difference here. He has Trample, so I can't just like chump block it. But luckily he doesn't have a buff spell here, and my mistake doesn't come back to hurt me. And I know his deck doesn't have any instant speed spells, so I'm pretty safe just taking the damage here and not blocking at all. Oh, I shouldn't have dropped land. Am I? Yeah, some mistakes here are being made, I guess. Or am I just gonna All's Dust here? I'm not entirely sure. If I was going for the Avenger of Zendikar combo, then obviously I would want to drop that first, then drop land, then attack. So maybe I'm just going... Oh, I could just go for the Tangle. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense too. I'm just gonna Tangle him next turn. And then go for the Avenger of Zendikar. I guess that's a little safer anyways. Although I really should just Tangle the turn earlier. Then I would have All's Dusted and then drop my Titan onto an empty board, hopefully. But he's got an overrun here. It's unfortunately for him, it's too late, and it doesn't really matter. Either he kills me or doesn't. But I guess, you know, depending on what he had in hand, he was screwed anyways. If this attack didn't land, so he might as well go for max damage. I don't know, because I can't say what he had in hand. So. But there it is. His attack, unfortunately for him, doesn't deal me any damage. I'm left at 1 life yet again. And I draw another Tangle. Lulz. Oh yeah, time for more mistakes, I guess. Mistakes being made in this first game here. Just wasn't really thinking about such things yet. I suppose. I guess I was writing that just for your amusement, because I wasn't gonna type it to him, but yeah, so obviously I get Avenger of Zendikar here, and obviously I should have done that before attack, so I could get 2 lands out, make my guys bigger, etc, etc. That would have been, yeah, exactly. That would have been better, but I didn't realize at the time. I think I was too preoccupied laughing at top decking the Tangle there. Now, of course, the thing is, it really doesn't matter, that mistake, because I'm pretty sure I've got this game. I mean, it has to take some kind of miracle for him to come back now. But a mistake is a mistake, you know. And it's just good play to not make mistakes. regardless of whether you win the game or not. You still don't want to make mistakes, especially not with an audience viewing you. So that was a bit silly of me, but here's the final swing, and I'm gonna take match number 1, unless there's secretly a fog in his deck that he managed to sneak in there. I'm guessing no. I'm gonna guess no. I've seen this before, but I'm gonna guess no. I was right on my guess. Aren't I the greatest guesser ever? He's at minus 51, and I take match number 1 of round number 1, or is it game number 1? I can never tell. It's so confusing stuff. But I'm gonna move on here to the next. It took a while. Oh, he was watching damage effects. Turn off damage effects. Everybody who's hearing this and who has damage effects on, turn off damage effects, okay? Anyways, here's the second game. I mulliganed that pretty fast, so I didn't really get a chance to look at it, but I don't think there was enough ramp in there. There wasn't enough ramp in there either. This maybe, but not great. I'd rather have a Primeval Titan there. And now I'm just, now I'm just getting screwed here. I think it was not a bad play to mulligan those hands. I just got a bit unlucky. It also wouldn't have been a bad play to keep some of those hands, but I think it's kind of 50-50 on some of those hands there. It's kind of hard to tell, but some of those hands I just would have been way happier if there was a Primeval Titan instead of a Black Worm there. And I think this deck can do better than getting hands like that. But yeah, now I'm stuck on very few hands. Luckily, I do have the guy that can tutor me the Primeval Titan. I have a Green Sun Zenith to get another extra land out. So I need to get to I need to draw 2 more lands basically, and then I'll be set. I'll be able to drop my Primeval Titan. And things won't be as grim as they look right now, but that requires quite a bit of luck to get that going fast enough. I mean, I run 26 lands, 26, 25, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's 26. At the time of this recording, it was 26 lands. That's a little under half, so it's less than 50-50. Chance of me actually drawing land, and then the chance becomes less, of course, for drawing it 2 turns in a row. So I do have to get pretty lucky for that to happen. And I'm just going to take the free damage here. There's not really that much point in blocking here. I guess unless he draws a Rancor later, and then, I'd have blocked 2 more damage now. So then he'd have had Trample. So I didn't draw a land here. I did draw Avenger of Zendikar, so I at least have a game winner for when I get there. But I still need to get there. Obviously, I'd rather draw the land now and the Avenger later on after I drop my Primeval Titan or something like that. But yeah, that is the way things are going here. And he's gonna smash me in the face for a free damage. Would have also liked to have had a Tangle in his hand. I think there was a Tangle in one of those opening draws, but then there was only like 2 land and maybe another land. If I could get a 3rd land, then I think I had like an elf that could get me the 4th land in that hand. I don't know, something like that. Might have not have been a terrible hand to keep. But I did not, and we are stuck with this hand. Now next turn I can drop the elf. If I get a land, then after I can drop Primeval Titan. But you get that big 6/6 Rumbling Bailiffs out there, which is trample, and is pretty big. And I stay. Yeah, I don't block here. Yeah, all right. I think that's the right play, because next turn I come after this I can maybe start blocking 4/4s instead of the 3/3. With the guy, because he's obviously going to make 4/4. May as well do this for 4, but I already know I'm going for 3. Because I need a Farhaven Elf. I don't have the Oracles of Moldaya in the deck. And the reason is, once you're at 4, you usually Only need like one more to get to the 6 mana needed. And, you know, Oracle is kind of gamble. It's like Explore. I prefer Ramp and Growth. And it's also a 4-cost ramp spell where, I mean, if you have like Green Sun Zenith and you need to ramp, you need to play that for free at X, so 4 total, to get an Elf as another ramp spell than having a Oracle of Medaya. And you get stuck at 3 lands, then you're kind of screwed. Whereas if the Oracle was another ramp spell, and you could ramp to 4, then Green Sun Zenith for free, get the other ramp, etc., and get your 6 going. So, I don't know, I think Oracle isn't as foolproof as some of the other ramp spells, and you don't need to go deeper than that. Now, if I had 7 lands, then All of Dust would have been amazing here. Unfortunately, it isn't, and if you paid close attention, then you could have seen him flash in a Prey Upon on his turn earlier. So I'm a bit of an idiot here for just saying GG, because he may not have figured it out himself yet. But all he needs to do is just Prey Upon my 1/1, smash, and I can only block the 6/6, the free freeze, go through, deal me 6 damage, take me to -1, and he wins the game. Because if he Preys Upon with a 6/6, my 6/6, obviously I still live a turn, because I can block a free and take free. So all he needs to do again is just kill the 1/1. And it took him a while to think about it, so he may not have realized that if I didn't say GG preemptively. So, I don't know. I think that was a mistake. I kind of just assumed, you know, that he would know. I don't know. I assume my opponent is a good player, but you know, even good players make mistakes. Even good players don't always see everything that's going on. In the first game, I made a few mistakes myself, so never assume such things, and just, you know, wait until he's actually got it, until he notices that he's got the win. But either way, so it's 1/1. We're tied now, and again, this is a first to 3. First hand was only 1 land, and an Eye of Ugin was pretty bad. This hand is way better. I got at least 5 lands here, because again, I could tutor for a ramp elf with the Green Sun Zenith if needed. And I got the Pelaka Worm to hopefully stabilize. So that that can help me out. Yeah, that can help me out. I don't know what was up with the weird intonation of my voice there. That can help me out. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what was going through my mind at that point, but either way, we're off to a interesting start, I guess. 2 lands on each side, yay. But there's a 3/2 for him, and the aggro is gonna start coming my way. Turn 3. Oh, here's his turn 3. Either way, we drew a Tangle, and Tangle is a card I always love to see, especially in a matchup like this, where the only way for him is to just aggro off my face, and he has the opportunity to change his deck build for a specific matchup. I also have that opportunity, so he obviously just changed his deck build to be as aggressive as possible. So Tangle, pretty good card in this situation. But he's got that 4/5 Bailiff out there, and I'm gonna need to start dealing with that pretty soon here. So I think I'm gonna elect to Green Sun Zenith this turn, because if I play the Fierce Amp of this turn, then I'll have 5 mana. No, yeah, I'll have 5 mana next turn, which won't be enough to play both Green Sun Zenith and Tangle. But doing this way, I'll have enough mana for the Fierce Empath and the Tangle next turn. Or if I draw it, I can play the Primeval Titan just straight off the bat without having to tutor it up, which would be nice. So Rancor, Elephant Guide, going balls to the wall aggro here, which is what he should be doing again. This is not a match that he's going to win in the late game, so he's going in for 12 damage here. So both his guys have trample, but I may as well block. I mean, I guess saved me 1 damage. It doesn't really matter. The 1 damage isn't gonna kill him anytime soon. Not in comparison to the huge dudes I have in my deck. So, you know, not that much point in blocking, but also not that much point in not blocking. May as well saving the damage. But I am going to get either Primeval Titan or Avenger of Zendikar here. And I may actually go for the Avenger of Zendikar, and I think that would make sense. Because I'm already gonna be at 7 mana next turn. So I think I'm trying to count my mana there under the cards, which is why it took me a while to decide, because it's kind of hard to see all your land on the table when those huge cards are popping up in your face. But I did indeed realize that since I'm gonna be at 7 mana anyways, I may as well just get the Zendikar, the Avenger of Zendikar immediately and skip the Primeval Titan and play Monopoly again. But obviously I'm gonna Tangle here, and that's gonna put a damper on his aggression and give me the turn to play out the Avenger of Zendikar and give me another turn to boost my guys a bit and play another threat. And then I'll be able to stabilize this way. So that's gonna help me out. And it basically, I mean, this is basically the turning point of the match. Being able to stabilize here is really what what is going to be the deciding factor in these matches. Because again, he needs to just defeat me as quickly as possible, and So I'm thinking about Prey Upon here is why I play Blackworm. And I think that makes sense. The upside to playing Avenger of Zendikar earlier is that I get to actually... I should have attacked there. But again, the 1 damage isn't going to matter. But I might as well have attacked there. He doesn't have any haste in his deck. But yeah, if he preyed upon my Avenger of Zendikar, if I played it that turn, then I wouldn't get any counters on my 0-1s. So this is, I think, a safer play. Ooh, Tooth and Nail. Nice draw there. Always a nice draw to get Tooth and Nail. And that can definitely be the final Tooth and Nail in his coffin. For this match anyways. We're still tied 1-1 in case you've forgotten. So, and again, it's first to 3. So if I win this, I still need to win 1. If he wins this, he still needs to win 1. But he is putting up a resistance, even though I managed to stabilize and gain some life, have some bombs out. He is putting up some resistance here by dropping these guys, and just, I mean, with that 6/6 rumbling Baloth out there, every time he draws a land, he gets a 4/4. Of course, if every time I draw a land, all my little sapling plant tokens, I mean, all my little plant tokens there get huge. So, I mean, if we're just gonna be drawing lands for the rest of the game, then it's definitely my advantage, I think. Because he gets 4 power and toughness out of the deal, and I get 7 power and toughness out of the deal for each land. So yeah, that would definitely be in my advantage, unless of course he can overwhelm me with more dudes. The board stalls long enough, but that, you know, whatever. He is going to attack this turn, or not. Decided not to, or his time ran out. I don't know. I think it would have been a good play to attack that turn. I mean, he may want me to like make a mistake and hope that that way he's gonna be able to win. I know what I'm getting here, but I may as well tap out for it. But obviously I'm getting the Primeval Titan here. I don't have anything to do with 1 mana. There's no instant that I can make him think I have with 1 mana, so I may as well tap out for 7. But I'm getting the Primeval Titan there. But anyways, it may have been decent of him to swing in there on his turn, because that was probably the weakest I was gonna be on the board for the rest of the game. So that was maybe his best chance to, if not kill me, at least take out some of my dudes, so that he has longer to live. Of course, you know, the longer the game goes, the more it is in my favor. so that's not necessarily a winning strategy. But maybe, you know, I just draw lands for the rest of the game and don't get anything, and then it's a winning strategy. And kind of, you know, at this state in the game, that's kind of what he has to hope for, something like that. So I would not have been adverse to attacking there with all my dudes myself. I don't remember if I had land open, of course, for the entangle, so he may have been thinking, well, then he just takes the damage, entangles, and doesn't take the damage. You know, then he swings for lethal on his turn. That may have been a concern of his for not attacking. I'm not entirely sure what the thought process is, because I'm not him. I am me. Here, see, Avenger of Kozilek. No need for that. Going straight for the Entwine, getting another Primeval Titan. Just brutal, brutal, brutal. And I may get it that betrays, but I think actually I get Black Orb. I think the best course of action there was to actually just get a Farhaven Elf, because that's another land to pump my plant tokens with, but, you know, whatever. This is enough damage. It does not matter, I think. Although I am going to count here, I would assume. So he blocks, let's say he blocks like 2 Black Worms and a Primeval Titan. Then I get in for, and he blocks 3 plants, so I get in for 4 times 5 is already 20, then 5 more, 1 more, you know, yeah, and 6 more. So that's 12 more, yeah, that's minus 32, I think, if he blocks optimally. But that's pretty quick math. I'm, you know, can't say for certain there. And of course I get these triggers, so I'm definitely wrong then. I get way more damage off. Even so, but, you know, I could just go, well, this is probably enough damage, whoop, go in. Then, like, you never know, maybe you take him to -1. You can always make mistakes, so make sure to make the correct play. Even if you feel like you're absolutely sure that you're gonna win, just make sure anyways. That's my advice anyways. Especially in games like this where there's a tournament at stake and there's an elimination that could be had for me if I start making mistakes. But anyways, that's another win for me, so it's 2-1 up for me again. So we went from me going 1-0 to him tying with 1-1. And then I went 2-1, so we'll have to see if he ties again to 2-2. Or if I can actually take it home at this match. He is at match point. And we're gonna have to see if he can come back here and get 2 victories in a row, because that's what he needs to do to stay in this tournament. Of course, I don't want him to do that, because I want to stay in the tournament as well. He went to 5, but actually, watching this back, I saw he went to 5 earlier as well, and he didn't really have much trouble with it. But it is, of course, not something you really want to do, is go down low. But, you know, if you don't get the right hand, if you get, like, start with a 6-drop against my deck, that's really not what you want. His deck doesn't really have enough playables to only run aggro cards, so he has to run some 6-drops or maybe land removal or something like that in the deck. So there is potential for getting one of those in his starting hand, and, you know, that makes it more possible for him to have to mulligan. So that is a weakness of the deck that he's playing, especially when he's forced to make it into an aggro deck just to beat this matchup. But anyways, dropping the Colony Heart Expedition on turn 2 is pretty nice for him. Of course, dropping two drops 2 turns in a row for him is pretty nice, because again, he wants that aggro going. He wants it going. But I'm already at 4 lands. Next turn I have to drop a land. and get another counter on my Colony Heart Expedition. I'll be at 5. You know, I can Rampant Growth. Either way, the turn after I can drop either Primeval Titan or Black-Worm and start stabilizing with that. He has a Rancor as well, however, which is pretty good for him. So he's coming in for 8, and that's quite a lot of damage, really. I'm just gonna chomp here. Yeah, he has Trample, but again, you know, may as well. It's not a reason not to chomp, it's just that chomping is less useful to me. If that makes any sense. So this turn I still can't do anything. I'm at 10, so now I'm actually, you know, that a Rancor was pretty nice for him. I'm actually kind of sweating it, because I'm gonna go down to 2. And if he has another Rancor or any buff spell, I'm dead. And yeah, I just need to drop that Black-Worm in my hand next turn. So I already have the 7 mana. Look at all those counters on there. There's really, yeah, there's not extreme need to pop that thing immediately. And I may as well see what happens here before I do it. So he doesn't have a buff spell, luckily. He hits me for 8, I go to 2, and this is where things get interesting. Because, dude. Dude. So what happened here is he actually missed a drop of a 3-2 last turn. Because otherwise he would have dropped the 3-2 last turn and I would have been dead here. That's unfortunate for him. But either way, the situation is as follows. Black-Worm can't save me here. And there's only 3 draws in my deck that can actually save me. And 2 of them involve Avenger of Zendikar or Green Sun Zenith for Avenger of Zendikar. Which is a reason not to pop the Colony Heart Expedition just yet. Because now, since I drew the Green Sun Zenith, which is actually something I was, you know, I was thinking about this. Because there was 3 draws that could save me here. Green Sun Zenith, Avenger of Zendikar, or Alles Dust. Those were the only draws in my deck that could save me here. So, given that, it was better not to pop the Colony Heart Expedition at the end of his turn. Because 2 of those potential draws lead to me wanting to pop it after dropping the Avenger of Zendikar. And getting those counters on my plant tokens. So, thanks to some quick thinking here, I actually saved myself from losing this match by not popping the Colony Heart Expedition. So that was pretty interesting. So in situations like these, I think it's always important to just think about what you're doing. Every play matters. And just think, you know, what are my outs? What do I need to draw here before doing anything? And then, you know, you get to actually realize stuff like, oh, if I don't pop my Colony Heart Expedition here, then hey. I actually get to be lucky if I draw what I need to draw. And that's really, you know, what helps is set those scenarios up. And those lead to some of the best plays, really. But anyways, I think I have lethal here. So, yeah, kind of interesting. Yeah. This is lethal, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, I played this, so it is. But pretty interesting last match here, where both him either not getting to drop his 3-2 because of lag, or because he actually clicked over it or made a mistake, or I don't know what exactly happened there, and me making, like, realizing, oh, I need to draw this, and therefore I shouldn't sacrifice this just yet. Leading to this situation where he goes from a certain victory to actually being defeated. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And he actually goes straight to 0, which of course I counted before swinging in, or I would not have swung in. So that leads to me winning the first round. Now, yeah, just interesting last game. Pretty cool stuff. Good games to Kralzen. That was very interesting. And yeah, pretty clutch on drawing the Green Sun Zenith there. So my next matchup is actually gonna be Mind Maze. Yeah, the worst matchup for Chant of the Moldai. So that's gonna be interesting. So definitely stay tuned for round 2 of the Top Tier Tactics tournament. And if you haven't already, go check out the Top Tier Tactics site. WiNGSPAN TT is hosting the tournament, so go show some love. And thanks for watching, guys. My name's been Nemo. My name will still be Nemo in the next round, as well as on my other videos. And have a wonderful day. May all your top decks be Green Sun Zenith or Avenger of Zendikar or All's Dust. See you next time.